Our next panel will look at the Spanish market from a product perspective. How do suppliers of essential products and services look at Spain's regulated iGaming market? Let's welcome our panelists to the stage. Nicolás Campano, Sales Director at Soft2Bet. Gerard Cervelló, the CEO and founder of Secrets Vault. Please make it to the stage. Mario Chamorro, partner at MDF Partners. Jordi Sendra, CEO of Alea. Michael Sheriff, who's Chief Strategy Officer at Docaposte. And Camille is kindly moderating this panel. One more time.
Yes. So hi again. This panel is going to be in order to explain you what the breakout sessions from this afternoon will be about. So let's just start with a generic question to see what their opinions are on the latest news in the Spanish markets, and then we will see concretely what their sessions are about. So I would like to ask you all, from whether it's a product or business perspective and what's new in the Spanish market, the specific challenges that this has created for you in your companies. So if anyone would like to start with answering this question about the challenges that this has created for you. Mario, go ahead. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. I think if we think about the trends in Spain, we need to think also about the trends, about the international trends in the market. And it's more or less the same everywhere, because we have a framework here in Spain where we have seen today, we have a lot of different restrictions, we have new deposit limits, we have a lot of different things. We have an advertising ban, or a kind of advertising ban, but this is not something special or something different compared to other countries, and we need to get used to this trend, because we work a lot, for example, with Italy. And Italy, it was in 2018, it was the first country who introduced strong advertising limitations. But after that, practically all the countries have done the same. And it happened in Spain, also in a lot of other different countries, and this is going to keep going. I think this is the first point, is the increasing regulation that forces operators to focus not only, let's say, not only purely in business, but also in a lot of other different aspects. Increasing regulation also means that you need to dedicate a lot of technical resources, especially technical, also operational, also a lot of different things. But I think the highest one is at a technical level. You need to dedicate a lot of people to understand the requirements, to implement the requirements, to adapt the platform. And this is, I mean, you have a limited set of resources. If you need to dedicate a lot of effort to that, you cannot dedicate this effort to other aspects. So this is a very important topic to consider. I think the main trend is this one, is increasing in regulation. And I wanted to mention also something that was discussed before too, is we are seeing a market that is changing from being purely betting driven to being casino driven. Again, it also happens at an international level. In Spain, we have like 50% of GGR is casino. In Italy, it's more or less the same. UK, the same. And we come from levels around 30%. So it's also a common trend. This means that casino is more important. Casino is very different to betting in this sense. And we are seeing in parallel to all that an increase, I think, in competition. Not in the number of operators, because it's more or less the same here than 10 years ago. But competition, I mean, on the level of quality the operators are offering in this case in Spain, also everywhere, but especially here in Spain. If you compare, for example, a site today versus the same site like 5-10 years ago, it's totally different. Now you have UX is essential. You get part of the content is fit to you through artificial intelligence. You have a seamless experience everywhere. So it's a big step in quality. And I think in this scenario, it's very important that operators know how the market is moving. It's very difficult to know if your competitors this month launch 2 different providers, or if they have certain promotions that you don't have, etc. And coming back to the initial question, that was how it's affecting us. This is why we decided, like 2 years ago, to develop a new business line where we develop market intelligence products for operators. And the goal here is to offer them tools where they can measure. For example, if they have, we have now 2 main products. One tracks promotions and the other one tracks products. With this product, you can see if you have any promotional gaps, or for example, if now that we have an important event, your competitors are offering a free bet of 100 euros, but you only have one of 10 euros, all this kind of information. Is something very useful that within is helping operators to get information, to get always updated information on how the market is moving, identify gaps, and then adapt to these gaps, fill these gaps.
Thank you so much for that. Very interesting. So, Michael, Gerard, Nico, and Jordi, what are the challenges that you have been facing when you want to enter the Spanish market, or if you're already operating in the Spanish market? What could you share about that?
Yeah, from us, Softobet, we are a platform provider, but we're also an operator. We are entering the Spanish market next year, and of course, one of the main challenges is the regulation adapting your platform to this risk and flagging this type of vulnerable players, and also the marketing restrictions and influencers. Of course, the regulation is challenging, but we see a lot of opportunity as well. I think we always talk about promotions and bonuses, and casino in general is about how do we attract the players and how we prevent them to go to the competitors. But I think what we're doing in Soft2Bet is quite interesting because we're going the extra mile when it comes to the entertainment. So it was mentioned before that we're an entertainment industry, and what we've believed in the past, we haven't done that much innovation when it comes to that. We have a casino lobby. 15, 20 years ago, it looked pretty much the same, you know. It hasn't been that much innovation. So we're trying to invest a lot in creating more immersive experiences. We're trying to combine casual gaming with iGaming, basically to increase screen time. I think a lot of operators look at a lot of metrics. We look at ARPU, we look at GGR, NGR. We look at a lot of things, but not everyone looks at the actual screen time. What we're here to do is to entertain the player, of course, to protect the vulnerable, but we need to make sure that we create an additional layer of entertainment that is not just the player come in, you know, spinning a little bit and buying a bit of adrenaline, because that's essentially what they do. We want them to stay on the site longer and get more out of the site. So of course challenges, regulation, but after looking at the new royal decree, after looking at the regulation in here in Spain, we see that there's lots of things that we can do to, of course, respect this regulation, but also create this kind of additional layer of entertainment. At the end of the day, what we always say is that we don't want to compete with other operators. We want to compete with Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. We want to be there to offer this type of entertainment.
Thank you so much for that. Could you share what your breakout session is about? Is it about this?
Yes, exactly. So what we're going to be talking about later is what we've done in the past 3 years when it comes to gamification. So as I said, what we're doing is we're combining casual gaming with iGaming to increase retention. So what we're doing in a nutshell is we are offering the player a virtual currency once they actually spin a reel or they place a bet. Doesn't matter what the outcome is, they will get a virtual currency. Now, with that virtual currency, they go into the gamification component and they can actually spend the virtual currency there in games that are not necessarily gambling related. You know, they can build a stadium, they can build a city, they can create or achieve different kind of milestones. So they can actually have, as I said before, a little bit more of entertainment. So I will be talking about this. I will be showing a few examples of some things that we've done in the past that have worked really, really well, some others that haven't, because of course we're an operator. So one of the good things is that we actually test in our own B2Cs, and then we see what works, and then we decouple some APIs and we can actually offer to external operators.
Amazing. Thank you. What time will it be?
It's a 4:30.
Okay.
Conference number 2, or conference room number 2.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm going back again to the previous question of the challenges that you're facing, and if you could also share what your breakout session will be about.
From my side, I work in Alea. We are an aggregator, game aggregator. What I can see in the Spanish market is that there's a lot more interest from providers to enter the market, so this is more an opportunity. And then obviously the next challenge is going to be for operators to manage the amount of slots, the new games, the new releases, and how they differentiate between operators, and we can see that in other markets. So this is probably the point that I would like to add. And in my breakout session, I'm going to be speaking about Brazil, and if there's any questions about the new regulation and more operational hiccups and opportunities that there are with the new regulation, and other questions about Latin as well.
Perfect. Alea has entered the Brazilian market since last year, right?
Yes, since 1st of January. Yeah.
Okay. What time will your breakout session be?
4:25 in conference room 1.
Great. See you there. Okay.
Okay, I will be the disappointed. Those that disagrees, we have no challenges in the Spanish market in general because we work on cybersecurity, and regretfully for all of you are impacted by the bad guys. So I don't need to tell you, last week just 16 billion credentials from multiple players, from Apple to Google, etc., discovering the dark web, etc. So as all of you are impacted somehow by this risk that can impact your reputation, your financials, your operations, your compliance, we will be talking today at 5:20 p.m. about the risks that typically you face in cybersecurity and new innovations that are coming to the market that will help you to mitigate, hopefully, these different risks that you are facing, including something very new, and I will just do a small spoiler. It has to do with a picture of your holidays. So you want to know more about this? I wait for you at 5:20 p.m. in room number 2.
Great. Sounds interesting. Thank you, Gerard. Michael, what about you? What are the challenges that you've been faced if you operate already in Spain or if you're trying to penetrate the sector, the market?
Yes. So good morning, everybody, and thank you for inviting. Well, the Spain market is really interesting for us because it's really a market that is concerning regulation is really mature and with a strong focus on responsible gaming and also data traceability and data governance. And this is key for us because in Docaposte we are very sensitive to provide a responsible solution to the market. We do that for digital signature, we do that for different trusted services. We are kind of a RegTech company, and so responsible gaming is really important for us. And Spain is a step further on that, so this is good.
Your session will be about this?
Yes, we will talk about who we are and what is the value we bring to the operators, and because we provide compliance as a service, data vault, and I also take the opportunity to announce here, to do a big announcement. We want to go a step further into the responsible gaming by doing a partnership with Mindway AI, so that we can mix data and AI to provide the best responsible gaming for the industry. So we'll tell more about that during the breakout session.
Perfect. What time? If you have it, otherwise it's okay.
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon, perfect. You'll see him in the afternoon. Mario, I didn't ask you what your session was about.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit different because we are going to present the results of an analysis that we made in the last weeks regarding the promotional landscape in Spain. We're going to present how operators are moving regarding promotions, what kind of promotions they are offering, what are the main trends, how they adapt the promotions based on for example, relevant sport events and all that. And we are going to present qualitative and quantitative information, so it's going to be a mix of both. And making some comparative, in some cases, the focus will be Spain, but we are making some comparative versus Italy and also versus LATAM. It's very interesting because you can see very different approaches depending on the country. And at the end of the session, we will show also a snapshot regarding the main product trends that we are seeing in Spain regarding betting and casino, because there are, as I said before, a lot of things that are happening, and it's becoming more and more important to getting this information in order to adapt the strategy based on that. So I think if you are interested in promotions in Spain, you should attend to this session.
Perfect. Can I ask you also what time, if you have it in mind?
I think it's at 4:55, but not 100% sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mario. Does anyone else has anything to add that you didn't have the opportunity? Okay, so I will also be hosting a small breakout session, I think, which is at 4:05. It will be about this new regulatory update that we had in Spain. Since March, B2C operators are obliged to have unique gaming sessions, meaning that when the player enters a new gaming session, they have to set the spending limit that they want to spend and the time limit. And we will discover how it's functioning now, because all the games under the general license, other games, will be included in that unique session instead of breaking them out into individual sessions, which was what happened before. So I will see you at 4:05, break room 1, I think, and we will discuss about that. Okay. Thank you very much to all of you for sharing your thoughts, and I will see you later.
Thank you.